Of Halloween, and what I want to do is talk about how Halloween flourished through the Christian community. How did it get infected and injected into the Christian community? In the 8th century, the Pope, in an attempt to get the people to abandon the festival of Samhain or Halloween as we know it, he started what is called he established what was called All Saints Day, all right, on November 1st. Now remember, Halloween was held October 31st. So November 1st, he established what is called All Saints Day, okay? And what that did, that honored those who had been martyrs in the terrible Roman persecutions. This attempt to end Samhain, or the Festival of the Dead, has caused trouble to this day. That's because of this location on the calendar. October 31st, has led many people to believe that it's a Christian observance because it's so close to the All Saints celebration. This is how it developed. In the British Isles, All Saints Day came to be called All Hallows, since it was a day to honor the All Hallows ones, the Christian model. Since Samhain also occurred the evening before All Hallows, it came to be called All Hallows Evening, okay? Then it went from All Hallows Evening to Hallows Eve, and finally to Halloween, as we know it today. Because of the relationship in the names and the adjacent dates on the calendar, many today entertain the completely unfounded idea that Halloween is somehow a Christian holiday. But we can't just go by dates. We have to go in and find out, what is this about? What is this celebration about? What are they celebrating? You know, that's like in the natural. If you got invited to a party, you don't just go to the party. You find out who's going to be at the party, what kind of music they're going to be playing, what are they going to be drinking at the party. You understand? You don't just go and I don't go and just go to a party because somebody invited me. Matter of fact, I very seldom go to parties. But if somebody invites me, I'm going to find out, I'm going to examine the people that's going there, because I don't want to get involved with everything. I don't want to be exposed to everything. I don't know about you, but listen, we are fighting about it. And about our faith is what I'm talking about. And a lot of times we are experiencing negative things in our lives because of the things that we're involved in. Right. Even though you go into church, even though you read your word, even though you may be praying. But if you're involved in these satanic activities, you're opening your life up to be attacked. It's I don't know if I shared this with you. On Benny Hinn a few years ago, there was a lady that came up on the stage and she was real sick. And God gave Benny Hinn a word of knowledge. He said, "You have a book that's in your house that you need to get rid of." And she went into, "Wow, how do you know this?" You know. He said, "Yeah, somebody just gave me a book a few weeks ago." He said, "You need to get rid of that book because it's demonic." So she went home, she got rid of the book, came back fully healed. Amen. Her whole life had changed.
Praise the Lord.
We have to see, we don't even think objects in our house can affect us. Well, they teach that in the Old Testament. Now, even though, like I said, it's in the Old Testament, it still hasn't changed. What we have to realize, what's changed is us. Right. Is how God responds and treats us. That's what's changed. His belief, whatever, like I said earlier, whatever he calls an abomination in the Old Testament, is still an abomination in the New Testament. He just don't kill us because when we obey him. Because we under grace. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times, things that we're involved in has opened us up to demonic attack. We need to, when your life, when you're suffering with pain, when you're suffering with financial life, you need to examine every area of your life. You know what I mean? It's not God. We know that. So if it's not manifesting, if I'm being defeated in these areas, I need to make sure that I haven't opened myself up to satanic activity. Because if I find, and God will reveal it to you, and once you find that door, close it. Because I'm going to tell you something. You can't, like I said earlier, 1 Corinthians 10, I think it's verse 21, says that you can't eat of the table of God and the table of demons and be victorious. You just can't do that. Amen? Amen. Y'all still with me? Amen. All right. This, because of the location on the calendar and the name change, this has made it much easier for the ungodly festival to move into the churches each October and flourish there, spreading its occult poison. Like I said earlier, changing the costume doesn't change the celebration. Having it in a church building doesn't change the celebration. It's still the celebration of Halloween. And even if we have it, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because I'm going to teach on this at the end. But even if we have a church harvest festival as an alternative, what that does is still promote the celebration. We need to get to a place where we just totally ignore the celebration. If you're going to do anything, pray against it. You know? But we feel like when you take your child and say, okay, we're going to do something, we're going to have an alternative, you're telling that child that they're missing out on something. We don't want them to even think they're missing out on anything. Okay. Don't even acknowledge it. You understand what I'm saying? We shouldn't be the one that promote the idea of Halloween in no shape, form, or fashion. I had one lady tell me, well, if the church doing it, it must be right. Well, you got churches that teach that God don't want you healed. Is that right? You got churches that teach you have to work to get saved. Is that right? Just because it's being taught at a church doesn't mean that it's right. You have to get in the Word and see what it says. Amen? Amen. Now, in the Middle Ages, in the midst of the darkness that prevailed during this time, there was a mighty revival of witchcraft and Satanism. During that time, there developed the belief that on October 31st, witches traveled to their covens flying on brooms. That's where they get that from. Guided by evil spirits in the form of black cats. That's why today the superstition is black cats are evil. Black cats are not evil. A black cat is no different than a white cat. A white cat is no different than a brown cat. It's just see, this belief came, all that does is try to get us in a place where we are fearful. I can remember driving down the road years ago, and a black cat crossed my path. I turned my car all the way around and went the other way. So I saw something. You understand what I'm saying? See, all that stuff doesn't affect you unless you believe it.
Oh my!
Are you hearing what I'm saying? See, that's where all this stuff derives from. Black cats being evil. So you got people that won't even buy black cats. Oh, that's evil. No, it's not. It's just what they believe in. See, Satan trying to get us to participate in all that junk. Anyway, there was a great outpouring of satanic power, and as all the old practices continued, some new ones developed. What happened was, during this time, they had an outpouring of satanic power. They had a lot of human sacrifices going on. They were killing. Matter of fact, one of the main sacrifices of Halloween is children. And even today, they still sacrifice children. That's why children disappear. Watch at Halloween how children disappear. They try to hurt children. They had on television, the Druids is behind that. They had on television last night, I was watching a documentary about the Druids, and they were cannibals. They ate humans. And they talk about how the Roman Empire kind of wiped them out a little bit, but they actually, and they showed how they would chop humans up and just eat them. Now, Druids were learned men. They were kind of like priests, but they were guided by the devil. Their spiritual guidance was the devil. But these people looked up to them. These people obeyed them. Like preachers today, people look up to them. The Druids, people looked up to them. They were learned men. They were like priests.